Welcome to a discussion of SEPA's new report on a regulatory roadmap for vehicle grid integration. We are talking with a variety of stakeholders about what are some of the lessons we can take from Maryland's experience with EVs and vehicle grid integration, or VGI. How is Maryland preparing for an EV future using vehicle grid integration technologies and techniques like EV rates and managed charging?
Well, Maryland has seen this EV development as an unprecedented opportunity to not only maximize the utility grid benefits, but provide benefits to customers. A few years back, we embarked on using a collaborative approach to determine how and when the utilities should be allowed to actually own some of these grid infrastructure assets. And over time, working in a very collaborative method with all of the stakeholders, the Commission was able to develop a portfolio of approved regulatory policies that went ahead and allowed the utilities and the customers to find some win-win situations.
Maryland has a goal of 300,000 EVs on the road by 2025, and right now I think we have about 30,000. So we have a while to go to reach that goal, but getting the infrastructure in the hands of those early adopters by giving them rebates for the smart chargers will just help us in the long run to manage when cars are charging, to limit the need for grid updates, any reliability issues, and things of that nature.
Maryland's, doing the right things by, first of all, incentivizing the right type of infrastructure to be deployed when people are actually going electric or choosing to buy level 2 or higher powered charging for their homes and for workplaces. So the first thing is making sure that infrastructure is connected to the internet, controllable, if you will, and be able to obtain data about the charging that's happening, and then be able to control that charging when needed to make sure that that charging aligns most beneficially with grid conditions. And then secondly, we're working with Baltimore Gas and Electric on a very innovative program to encourage customers who have gotten those smart chargers to then use the smarts in those chargers to make sure they're charging at the best times for the grid.
Why is VGI important?
So I think VGI is important for several reasons. Probably the first is that if we do nothing, if we just let EV adoption happen, we exit this pandemic that we're all so eager to escape, and people start driving to work again, coming home, plugging in their cars at the end of the day, they're going to plug those cars in during the current system peak. And that's just going to take today's existing peak load and make it bigger and make the problem worse. So if you do nothing, all the existing challenges associated with kind of peak infrastructure usage just get worse. You can mitigate that somewhat by taking sort of a low technology time of use rate strategy. But doing that is kind of an inherently transitional solution, because it means that you'd have to educate everyone, please charge your car during these hours or not during these other hours. But then as the grid changes, as EV adoption happens, you may find yourself re-educating customers at some point in the future. So the thing that Maryland did really well was set themselves up on this sort of multi-stage path where they start by getting the data, they encourage customers to charge off peak, and then as lessons get learned from that and the load curve changes, they have the technology in place to continue to shape that load, and they have the sort of customer engagement and program design learnings to figure out how to best drive the best kind of customer behavior. And so I think that's smart, and it's a good long-term solution.
Christy, how did BG&E arrive at the idea to develop an innovative EV time of use rate using smart chargers?
Well, our petition to the Maryland Public Service Commission, again, included being able to rebate the smart chargers. And since we were using customer-funded program to do this, we wanted to make sure that we used all of the features available in the smart chargers. And one of them is that it records the 15-minute interval charging data. So there's no need to set a second meter when the charger is recording the data just like an AMI meter would do. So instead of spending money to install a second AMI or utility meter at the customer's home. We're just using the technology that's in the smart chargers that we're already rebating. So you see across the industry, utilities are often setting a second meter or just providing a flat credit to customers that charge off peak. But the data is available on the smart chargers, so we might as well use them to their fullest extent by billing customers directly off that data.
Jason, how did you arrive at the conclusion to allow VGI expenses into utility filings?
Well, that was a very difficult determination to make, just because VGI is so new to the regulatory landscape. It's oftentimes difficult to even perform a cost-benefit analysis on VGI, and we had some difficulty doing so when we had a number of utility proposals before us. Some of the proposals we accepted, including managed charging, and others we did not accept because we thought that the costs were too high and that it wouldn't be reasonable to have ratepayers, as opposed to shareholders or others, bear those expenses.
Thanks for watching. To recap, Maryland has been working collaboratively to maximize grid benefits of EVs for both utilities and customers through approved programs like BG&E's Smart Charger Rebate. By gathering data from smart chargers and engaging customers in time of use rates now, BG&E is streamlining billing for customers and preparing to successfully shape future load as more EVs are sold. Finally, it's difficult for regulators to perform benefit cost analysis of VGI investments, but by providing guidance, commissions, utilities, and stakeholders can determine which programs work for customers. For more on Maryland's VGI journey, please watch the additional videos in this SEPA TV series. To download the SEPA VGI roadmap, visit this link.